Okay, in this video, we're in the last chapter. We're putting together our construction documents. When you get to your exterior elevations, what you're going to see is on page 15-5. He shows the exterior elevation with the site topo solid visible. And the problem is, there's two problems. One is that the garage is too high on this house, so that means the grade is too high at the garage. So if you look around here, this is all messed up. We can't have ground by code up so close to the wood framing. So he basically effed up the grade on the garage. The garage should have been set lower and the whole grade around the house should have been set lower. So if we want to be able, when we're looking at these south elevations, to see where the grade line is and also where our footings are, because if our footings are stepping up and down or whatever. So what we need to do is a little bit of dinking around if we want to get that grade line to show right. So what we want that grade line to end up being is we want to be able to draw on the elevation the detail line with a wide fat line. But the problem is you can't see where the grade is hitting the house. Now, normally this isn't a problem because the grade's level around the house, like 6 inches below the top of the foundation wall or 8 inches, whatever it is. And you just go ahead and draw a straight line everywhere and everybody's happy. This is only because the grade's all messed up and we want to know exactly where it's hitting the house to draw it exactly where our messed up grade is. So we're going to have to, we can't just see where that grade is. So we have to do one extra step here, and that's what this video is about. So you can see as we pan around on 3D, the grade stays level all the way around. It's all the way around here, it's level. And the only place that's messed up is really from the front, this corner back. So let's just show you that. It stays level up until that point. So that's the only place that it's messed up. So again, this should have been assigned to this guy when he wrote the book that, hey, I've got my garage too high. I'm going to take an hour and get it down at the right elevation, redo my grade so I don't confuse thousands of students for the next 20 years. But no, he didn't want to do that. So let's go ahead and let's draw some model lines in. Now we can't just draw annotation lines in because the annotation lines are only for that view. So what we need to do is come in here and we're going to go to architecture, model line. Now the goofy thing with model lines is you have to pick the plane before you draw it. So let's set the work plane because it wants to know like where you want to draw it. And this is where the dinky around comes. So we're going to hit pick a plane. Okay. We're going to pick that plane, and then we're just going to draw that line. Then we're going to pick another work plane there and draw this line. So let me just shut up and show you how it's done here. So we're going to click where it goes there. We're going to click there. And we're going to hit escape to get out of that command. Now we're going to set the work plane one more time. Pick a plane. Okay. We're going to click on this plane. We're going to go to model line. We're going to click here and click down here. We're going to hit escape. We're going to set this work plane here. Yeah, this is really messed up because you can see the water's draining into the side of our house. So we're going to pick this plane. We're going to, okay, we're going to click this plane and draw that horizontal line down low. Let's see how this works out when I'm done. Okay. Now what we're going to do is pick plane one more time, and I think we're done then. We're going to pick this front plane. Oops. Pick this front plane. And I'm going to go to model line, go to that corner. Again, since this is all screwed up, we don't have to get it absolutely perfect. If you did this in the real world, you'd realize very quickly that you had messed something up. Okay, so now we're done with drawing our model line. So let's go back into the elevation here. And what we want to do is hide that in this view. Now, if I wanted to live with a model line there, I could leave it like this, but I don't want to live with a model line there. What I want to do is draw my detail lines just so they're visible in this view, because when you draw a model line, it'll be visible in the floor plan, in the 3D view, in the sections everywhere. We're just doing this temporarily to show where our grade hit the building. And now we're going to go through and go ahead and do it as a detail line just in this view. So I'm going to hit annotate detail line, make sure it's on wide lines. And I'm just going to go here, and this is where my other line starts. And I'm going to just trace over those model lines. And I stopped it there because what's happening is from this point over, it stays level on the house. And then all the way around the rest of the house, it stays level. So if we just measured how far this line is below the floor, we would obviously we would tell that it's a code violation, but that's where the grade is actually hitting the house in this case. So I'm just going to take this one and grip edit it back to here. And I'll draw a couple more polishing the jewel lines. So in a perfect world, we never want our grade sloping into the house. Like this is bad where it slopes into the house here. But where we get to the grade to the other side of the house, I gotta go to again, annotate wide lines. We typically just have them gently slope away once they get past the house. We'll do it over here as well. Okay, so now we can see where our footings and foundation are. Now this student went ahead and did the optional content where they drew the steps and they put the grade foundation. So there's videos in Pete's notes that shows how you can get your brick underneath your chimney so it's not floating and you can get a front stoop like that. So now we've gotten all those lines selected. Now we got to get rid of those model lines. So let's see if there's an easy way to do this. First off, I'm going to save this just so I don't have to do this over. And since I'm working off a student's backup file, I'll change it back to a real file because it won't hurt anything. So I'm going to select all those lines I just made. I'm going to filter. And the ones that I drew that were model lines are going to be the ones called lines. And then the ones that I drew that are detail lines are wide lines. So I'm going to check none. And I'm only going to check the lines here. So this is going to hopefully just take any model lines that I drew. And I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to hit delete. So now if I look at it in 3D, I can't see those model lines anymore. They're not there. So now then what you're going to do then is if you look at this in close up, you can see the grade line showing up against the house. It obviously shows it going up on the siding here. It's showing problems basically, but it also shows where my footing is. So when you draw an elevation, you want to know where those footings are because you might have a line that shows where natural grade is, or you might want to be able to step your footing down and you can't hide it with your topo. Okay, thank you.